Welcome back to the most professional StarCraft 2. With his first tournament appearance in several months, the 9-time GSL champion Terran in the red. It's the man, the myth, the Maru. Facing off against the former world champion, the Italian stallion, the Zerg in the blue, we have Reynor in a best-of-3 Terran versus Zerg tournament showdown as part of the Revival Star League Season 3. And before we get started, it'd be incredible if you could smash that like button and maybe even subscribe. How many kind of the algorithm? Jimmy, what are we at? Jimmy. 1,744 likes on this video, on this cast. And I'll cast another one. And I'll probably do it anyways, because I don't know what else I'd do with my life. But thank you for watching. Hopefully, you've had a good day so far. And hopefully it's about to get just a little bit better. As Maru sends the Reaper across the SCV looking to block the third. But a successful bamboozle out of Reynor. He sends a drone left, he sends it right, and the SCV right down the center couldn't figure out which one was real. And honestly, if he chose one, the other one would just have made a third anyways. So Reynor, with the classic bait and switch, is able to get his third hatchery in a timely fashion. But Maru gets in, he spots the Zergling speed has not begun, which means it's going to be a later Ling speed, as Reynor is much more focused on getting that economy early. Dodges the Vengeful Reaper with the extractor. And just that quick switch on the drone. And Reynor's able to get his third. And Maru also able to get his third. Not nearly as complicated. Just slaps it down right down the center. Because why not? Can't even really say that's part of the wall off. But you know what? What is Reynor going to do about it? He doesn't have Zergling speed. He doesn't even have vision of the front right now. Just relying on Maru as your most typical Terran, doing a predictable build. And for the most part, so far, he is. But not entirely. A second factory is on the way, clearly hidden at the very back of the base, while everything else looks up front and untowards. But Maru taking us to McDonald's to start things off. The Industrial Revolution has begun. He's got the gas at the natural, and kind of notably on the inside, it does seem like he maybe wants to hide this. Well, the value of Mech, Mech is still strong. It's just not as strong most of the time as well-controlled marine tank, as it doesn't. One, it's the startup cost. All right, in this economy, spending 100 gas on every single factory is quite a hurdle to clear just to get your production early on. And even though Mech units might be stronger, against someone like Reynor, who will exploit every weakness, every gap in the defenses, or create some of his own, having that sort of lack of production in the early mid-game can definitely come back to bite you, just like the Zerglings, who almost certainly will. But so far, it's just a Blue Flame. What year is it? A Blue Flame Hellion Rush. Without roaches? Wait, what? Okay, literally, what year is it? This has to be a fake. He's faking Stim. There's no way. He wants the Overlord to come in and see this. If he just goes bio after this, so there are some builds that are some Marines into. What? What in the bio-curious game? Okay, this is an old build. Does it still check out? This is like Wings of Liberty, Slayer's Boxer. We're gonna go a bunch of Blue Flame Hellions just into Marines. Which, the idea is to send exactly the wrong message to Reynor, and by the time he's responding, it's also wrong. Because by the time he has roaches, which should be the response, that's so many Hellions. I mean, you still have to respect this. That's 13 Hellions! Unlucky for Reynor as he just scrambles into position. Alarm bells going off. There's no stopping this with Zerglings. The Blue Flame is revealed. All the drones getting charbroiled so far. Everyone's stuck on the outside. And, well, he's just going to try to slip around with a quick... No! Stop right there, criminal scum! The Queens? Oh, what a save out of Reynor! Oh, wait. Is he locked in a prison of his own design? But still, he managed to cancel the Roach Warren in time. But of all the things to cancel, he didn't want to wall out his own base. Honestly, even though he lost 11 drones, Reynor plummets to a 5-worker lead. He's rebuilding the Roach Warren. It's just unfortunate he didn't realize it was about to complete at the natural in time, so that's going to be a bit of a setback. Reynor now is expecting the follow-up. From Reynor's perspective, yeah, he got it and he saw the barracks. Wait, he saw the barracks? Hey, he'll just hedge his bets. Looks like an overseer got in. But how did he build all these Hellions? Having 2 factories is never a bad idea. It's usually just add the second factory later on. Just expending scan after scan to keep the creep under control. By hiding the Helions for that long and not going for something like a Banshee, Maru was unable to really stall out the creep. It's already expanded over nearly half the map. If he hadn't cut down on it, it would be there already. So he gave up map control and the bio timing, in this case just Marines and soon to be mines, is going to be significantly later because he opted for the double factory early. But now he does have that tech. He's going for drilling claws. But that doesn't really stack up as well against the roaches that the Hellions more than baited out. So, like, they kind of forced it. If your opponent has double-digit Hellions, you need roaches. The fact that Reynor was able to get away with only, like, second-degree burns is a minor miracle in and of itself, and a testament to Reynor's reaction time. But, well, Roach Ravager is not a bad option against Marines and Mines, with the ability to absorb the hits and the armor and the sheer biomass to deal with it. I mean, look at the supply. Now, the Mines are going to burrow forward. There are no Ravagers yet. Infestors are out, though. Throws out a fungal, catches some unlucky Marines, drags out the Mines, and overall, Reynor going to clean this up with ease. Drilling Claws is not done yet, so doesn't need an Overseer to clean it up, though he should have one to make sure in the future. The Helions coming in again, but Roaches and Lings are already in position to deal with it. And attack upgrades for melee and ranged for Reynor simultaneously. Meanwhile, an Ultralisk Cavern is on the way alongside Adrenal Glands. So Reynor has already made it pretty comfortably to Hive tech. Whereas Maru is now sending out Widowmine drops. I don't even know if that scan was to see where the army was, or... He's gonna try to stay aggressive, but each of these attacks runs the risk of whittling down Maru's army to the point he can't defend a counterattack. He's putting most of it on the field right now. The Widowmine drop is boosting in. I don't think Reynor's expecting the Drilling Claws. He burrows it down. That's a lot of damage! Oh, wow! Terrible, terrible damage. Mostly to the Zerglings so far, but he's not done. Not again. Doesn't get the shot in time. Do we have a kill count? Not as bad as it looked, but the 4th mine gets 5 more kills. The breadcrumbs throughout. The Queen's eating some of it. The mine is struggling. Well, not the mines. The mine's forcing the struggle throughout, but the Overseer's gonna spot it. Both players really sprinting up towards 200 supply. Reynor has the Hive done. Chitinous plating on the way. Maru does not have a Ghost Academy. The explosive breadcrumbs still trailed throughout the map, and they'll keep Reynor at bay for now. But without a Ghost Academy to deal with the Ultralisks, well, it's not going to get much easier. They're the mine drops coming in, jamming them into those little corners of the mineral lines, making it incredibly difficult. Trying to pick up again. Reburrows, hits another shot, but down the center. That Widowmine on the high ground, endlessly annoying, and it is successful. These mine drops are keeping Reynor back at home. When as soon as he gets chitinous plating, he definitely wants to be moving out. He's already banking money. +2 melee attack on the way, +1 carapace is completed. Maru just started 3-3, so he's got the upgrade advantage on the ground, but not quite as relevant with this composition on the other side. Of course, the Marauders are quite a threat to everything here, with enough medevacs behind him. Nearly 200 for Maru, easily 200 for Reynor. He's got a Spire on the way in case he needs to get some Corruptors to knock all this out of the sky, but it's just a half dozen medevacs and now building Liberators. Even single volleys from those Marauders are really punishing the Ultras. He's gonna knock out one. Widowmine softens up another. Reynor, caught in a prison of his own design. The hatchery is making life difficult, trying to bring the Zerglings through, but instead the Widowmines thin them out quickly. The Roaches from the north side trying to turn it around, easily obliterated by the tanks. And Reynor plummets 40 supply with almost nothing in return. Maru does 80% of the damage and counting of this fight. He destroys 5,500 minerals to 1,800, 1,500 gas to 500. Reynor just gets bashed all the way back to the 4th base, whereas Maru just expanded not to a 4th, but a 5th. Maru is streets ahead right now, and Reynor, even with speed upgrades, is going to struggle to catch up. Did he get speed for his ultras? He did not. No ultraless speed is a moderate mistake, and increasingly so the further he gets off creep. But the Zergling counterattack. Not sure why there was a scan at Maru's own natural. Maybe some Zerglings tried to burrow there, but they don't. I guess they do have burrow. A Venn diagram of freedom, though, with the Liberators. There's no direct response. The Queen count is down to 3, and none of them on the screen right now. The Zergling counter, though, finds an opportunity, and Maru sprinting back with his Marines across the map. Still able to exert so much pressure with so few units. Maru has been the one dictating the pace of the game so far, though Reynor is breaking out. We have to ask ourselves that question. At what cost? The tanks will retreat. So far, Reynor has lost 5,000 more resources. Quite a number at this relatively early stage of the game. They'll expand again, but Maru has mostly untouched back at home. He lost a few SCVs at the 3rd. His reinforcements were cut off. And really, that's the only thing that's kept him at bay now. A Widowmine denying yet another base. Widowmine drops, forcing an inordinate amount of response. Attention per minute, a valuable resource, and Widowmines command so much of it. Maru keeping the Marine. Widowmine drop gets another half dozen drones. The Cyril Fester underneath. Almost impossible to spot except on the lighter tile sets. The zoning turrets, though, for exactly this. And Maru, he now has ghosts in production. He's already got 7 on the field. Maru has... This is kind of a master class from the man himself. Historically, throughout StarCraft 2, the best Terran player. Though some Frenchmen may have surpassed him recently. But strategically, and for one of the first times in a while, I think I can use the term strategically, because this has been a strategy game out of Maru. He's been able to keep the initiative because of it. But one infest... Oh no, he spotted it! One of the infestors wanders into the scan. Reynor trying to set up a fight, throws a few banelings into the fray. The ghosts lining up their shots. Ultralisk exploderated. Have to be careful that infestor is not too close so it dies before the shots. The infestor pops out, throws out the fungal. Exactly what he needed. Rolls right through with the banelings. And for once, Reynor is able to hold him down. And for once, Reynor is able to knock him out. A decisive set of fungals. But the further... Oh, wait, there's more! Another infestor comes through. The Ultras cleaving through absolutely everything. The ghost, somewhat amusingly, able to survive a little bit longer, but Maru acknowledges it. He picks it up and he gets out. He went a little bit too far. He dug a little bit too deep and a bit too greedily. And now Maru is forced all the way back. The Ultra is still almost entirely intact. There's only 5 ghosts. That's not enough overall. The Widowmines will knock out SCVs and Zerglings alike. But Reynor has reasserted himself on the field. Knocked out the critical mass of ghosts and bio. And now he has corruptors to help clean out the Liberators and the Medevacs. The starport units, the force multipliers that Zerg usually struggles to deal with. Something that the corruptors are directly intended on countering. Well. Thing is, though, Maru still has 5 orbital commands. The income was actually in his favor until that last counterattack, though about even throughout the game. Reynor's mined about 2,000 more minerals, but he's lost about 5,000 more. It's just that Maru has a lot invested in his economy, his infrastructure, that Reynor does not. The Zergling counter. How many Infestors? Just the one. At 1/3 HP. I don't know what happened there. The orbital is burning, burrowing the Zerglings. The scan to spot for it. He has turrets to cover the back. I don't think he'll be left without them again. Liberator sieging up. 8 kills. Gonna find another angle. The Spore Crawler's not nearly... Spore Crawler's not the most maneuverable creatures. In fact, technically Liberators have anti-air as well. Something we don't see so often. Lines up the shots. Knows the Ultras are gonna take a moment to grind through. The Infestor a little bit late. Throws out the Fungal off the mark. And the Ultras just evaporate. A lot of bones in that trench, and almost all of them Zerg. The Fungal did not catch all the ghosts, and no fun will be had by any of the gals on the Zerg side. The Ultras are just gone. Literally every single one. 15 Ultras dead to just 8 ghosts. That one fight turned the tide, but it did not keep it at bay. Maru's now up 40 supply. Reynor has been on a tenuous economic thread for quite a while, and it may have just snapped. He can't he's building 2 Ultras and 14 Zerglings. Maru is scanning just in case he missed a base somewhere. He has enough orbitals to scan constantly for Infestors because he has enough. He's nearly maxed out. The Bio Army, the Marines, the Mines, the Marauders, the Medevacs, the Magos, the M&M is keeping it together. And the Infestors don't have the energy for Fungal. The Ghosts line up their shots even on the edge of the fight. The presence of mind out of Maru. And the accuracy cannot be denied. The drone's retreating. But I think he's done it. 200 supply to 130. Reynor is out of bases. He's out of supply. And he's out of hope. He's going to try to get the gold base down the center. But it appears that Maru's semi-break over the last couple months, he's played in a few matches, but like I said, mostly team leagues, has not done much to dull his skill. In fact, maybe even sharpened it. Reynor, unable to put together the army. What a crazy build. The Blue Flame Hellions to start things off. And then directly, that is Wings of Liberty. All right, go watch the first cast on this channel. Maybe don't, but of Slayer's Boxer versus Hydra from like 2012. And I think you'll see probably a much, much, much poorer version of that build. People have a lot of rose-colored glasses about how people played back in the day. But the Blue Flame into Bio to keep the Zerg off balance and claim imbalance is a classic tactic and still effective apparently in current day. So Maru roasting Reynor in game 1 and claiming a decisive victory. Maru, Jimmy. Thank you. Thank you. No, Zerg is not OP, it's just Cyril. Well, no, we're not doing this. Sorry. Oh, and speaking of Cyril for no reason, I see a lot of questions. Where's Cyril? That's a great question. So Cyril has also played in some of these Team League matches. Unfortunately, they are exclusive to the Korean site, put on by Crank, where he lost to Clem in a best of 1. And that is the only high-profile match he's played in the last few months. He also played a 2v2 match, which I wish I could cast as well, which I think he won. But Cyril has quite literally not played in any tournaments. So the reason you're not seeing Cyril is there's nothing to see. All right, I think he took a break of about a month after Maestros of the Game. And at the moment, there are no major tournaments scheduled, to my knowledge. So we'll see what Cyril has in store for us. Assuming he does on the new patch. But the reason you're not seeing Cyril is because he's not playing. So, I know, crazy concept. Just like the reason you weren't seeing Maru is because Maru was not playing any games. Which, you know, after the World Cup, now for Cyril definitely, but after the World Cup, I think most players were, you got to take a break of some sort. Maru did it after the last season of RSL, the Revival Star League put on by Tasteless and Co in Korea, if you've been watching. And I believe you can watch the group stage. Or, no, this was the group stage. Jimmy, write these things down for me beforehand. You can watch the playoffs starting probably about a week after this. Don't quote me on that. Find out on Wikipedia. If you're watching on the first day, and thank you, like and subscribe. And if you're not watching on the first day, well, don't worry, all the highlights will end up here anyway. So, thank you. I love that build. I don't think it'll work again. That's one of those that gets the Zerg building an Overseer right off the bat. And, nope. Come back here, young man. They can't keep getting away with it, Susan. They can and they will, Brenda. They're even more annoying than back in the day. Just like you. Sorry. I blacked out for a moment. Both players here on Celestial Enclave, one of our new maps, taking the pocket base at the back with a worker-only path. Maru is going full Terran. 3 CC, 3 Rex, 2 engineering base. I mean, Reynor is no slouch here. Oh, no! Oh, maybe a bit of slouching. Loses a drone, which hurts more mentally than physically, but emotional damage. We're going straight into a full, unabridged macro game. The double engine. Wait a second. I think I saw something. Is that a Moopy? What are you doing down there? Chilling. Is there one on the other side too? Ah, yes. Symmetrical. Oh, wait. They're celebrating the death of a Terran. You know, worthy of celebration. It's okay. Some of my best friends are Terran. That's a joke. Terrans don't have friends. Well, the Marines are just... He knows that Overlord's on the pervert pillar watching all of this. This is... Maru is really breaking out the Wings of Liberty strats here. This is the classic, well, if I move out, you have to build units. Will he actually commit to anything? Kinda doubt it. If he goes too far, he will just lose all the Zergling. I mean, lose all the Marines. But are these just sacrifices? He's just gonna give them up, do as much damage as he can to the 4th base. The Queen's off a creep. That's it. Refuses to. Well, Zergling speed is done. He successfully kept Reynor to 50-something drones, but wow. It's pretty hardcore. 100% an old school move there. Wow. Was it worth it? I mean, maybe? Can Maru hear the rocks being taken down? If he doesn't have vision, you're not supposed to have the sound on it. Maybe if you're close enough.
Research complete.
But the rocks, well, it's gonna take a while for these Zerglings. Infestation is already on the way for Reynor, so gnawing through them. Halfway there. Yeah, and there's no... What he doesn't know can very much... Not like these Zerglings getting in is going to be the deadly option, but the fact that these are opened up so early on. He's... Oh, okay, so what... The problem here... He's doing this because of his own units. The worker-only path screws with the pathing of your own workers. Like, if you try to send them out to a certain location, sometimes they come through the wrong side. Ah! Those rocks suspiciously absent. And the... Taken down. Well... Yeah, the Zerglings are already there, but the Marines, of course, have the medevacs overhead, which means they've got their safety valve. A scan spots the infestation pit, if not the Hive. Reynor putting it at the front. I like that choice. Making it less vulnerable, because if you lose that base, you probably lost the game anyway, so... Hive nearly completed. Maru pretty far behind in supply as he mostly let Reynor go. He's got 4 going on. He just finished a 5th hatchery at the bottom right corner. But it's been effectively no rush 7 minutes here. But finally. Well, besides that one random attack of Marines, Adrenal Glands is the first choice. Doesn't have enough for an Ultra Cavern nor Viper so far. 4th command center for Maru. Unceremoniously landing down the... Maybe now he wants to lower that depot. We'll see. I am amused that he built it there at all. Few Marines left behind. Whittle mine scattered in. A Viper on the way. Drilling claws in production. But Maru's nearly... Well, Maru's almost even on supply with Reynor, who does have plenty of money in the bank. 135 Zerglings. So converting some more into Banes now. It's just pure Ling Bane. Scattering to deal with the Widowmons. Drilling Claws is not done, so he should be able to clean them up. There's so much bio here. And Maru not very intimidated by the sheer amount of Lings and Banes. The Widowmine gets a chunk before it can really grind through. It's 2-2 versus 1-1. And Adrenal Glands isn't even done yet. Maru is starting to melt, but that spread, I can't believe it's not butter. He's consuming the hatchery that's about to be under fire. He doesn't have enough energy for Parasitic Bomb. And Maru has turned the supply lead around. This is some real textbook blue-collar Terran right here. And drugs, guns, medevacs. Hell yeah, brother. The Adrenal Glands is done, +2 melee and Carapace, which is going to make Reynor significantly more cost-effective. But again, he's lost 200 Zerglings against 50 Marines. Parasitic Bomb quarantines 1 medevac. But Maru is just ahead. Like, there's an Ultra Cavern on the way, but I don't know if we're even going to get to that point. Reynor needs to turn this right. He does not have an Infestor. He has 1 Viper. Otherwise, it's pure Ling Bane against Marines, Marauders, Mines, and Medevacs. And that's just not good enough. Like, gets a good surround. Gonna eat some more mine hits. They're starting to become much more of a cumbersome issue. As Reynor's still individually splitting against him. But there's 11 mines scattered throughout now. Many of them burrowed in near random locations. And even if you have detection, doesn't mean you can stop them. They fire beforehand. Gonna draw out a few more hits. Reynor still down 30 supply. The weight of Maru is threatening to crush him right now. He really does not want to lose this base because most of his production will be cut off. Parasitic Bomb is good. Splits off the medevacs. Widow Mines force quite a toll on the way out, but Reynor takes a solid fight, and Maru is forced to retreat entirely. He's got the Octo... Oh, wow. Look at that Factorio base right there. That's beautiful. Building so many Marauders as well, though maybe you should lower that deep, but don't worry about it. His production chains are not perfectly efficient, but they're efficient enough. Trying to scatter the Zerglings to eat the mine hits, does so. But it costs about half the Zerglings he had just to draw the shots out, and the medevac count is still growing. Though many of them in autumn colors so far. And Reynor on the ropes. The Ultras pop out, but that's a Paperlisk right there. Another Parabomb, good quarantine. Ultralisk just dies when the Marauders give him a strong glance. And Reynor just... he doesn't have enough. It's not enough. Like, he's done nothing. Maru has 5 bases fully mined. Even if this army spontaneously combusted right now, it would not be enough. Maru with a masterclass of Terran, showing that even against the rank 2 Zerg in the world, he goes, well, he's not the one who's outmatched. Terran through Reynor with relative ease. Like this. Looking more one-sided than a Mobius strip right now. And chitinous plating is completed. For what Ultras? Maru, 2. Reynor, 0. He's back. He's back so strongly that now we move to the anti-spoiler bonus game. Another match from the series against his very own teammate, Reynor. That was a dominant Terran play. I'm a little jealous, but... Reynor, I feel like you can't skip steps for Zerg. Well, it's a fine line. And Maru did a near impossible job. Reynor could never gauge when the actual attack was coming. From the early Heliens in Game 1 to the random Marine timing, Reynor was left about half a step behind when it came to the tech. Even though he had the economy and arguably the unit count, if you don't also have the initiative, you have no room for error. They're already knocking on the door. Okay, you can't, there's nowhere left to fall back to. So, Maru exploiting that to great effect. And Reynor's macro and speed, not enough to counteract Maru's strategy. And I feel like that is, as I said in Game 1, one of the first actual strategy games I've seen in a while. Well, there's also Hero, but that's different. It took 3 games for Hero. He actually played a strategy game there. But that's always been why Maru's so good. Maru's always had great micro and macro, but Clem, I think, outclasses him for many reasons nowadays. But Clem plays in every single tournament, sometimes as both Terran and Protoss. So, like, you can't have a new original style and be playing in tournaments all day. I think that's part of the benefit and why Maru's won 9 GSL championships. This is the RSL, but let's just treat it equivalently. He knows how to prepare and how to outthink. And you don't get that many championships in such a tournament where you have sometimes a week to prepare for your opponent without doing so. But Terran versus Terran. I have watched very little on the new patch because mirror matchups are like throwing cold water on the algorithm, which is never fun. But you're here now. And I wanted to, well, I thought it was important to make it look like Reynor would have a chance. And the anti-spoiler bonus game is so you don't look at the timer and be like, well, I know where this is going. But that's why we don't always have them, because that way you don't know. All right. As the SCVs, first on the line, knocked out. Maru uses the bully SCV. 1 Reaper versus 1 Reaper, but he still comes out ahead with an extra shot. Reaper comes down, uses the grenade, but he's baiting. He's baiting for the second Reaper. He's trying to get that. Now he's delayed Ryung's command center. Meanwhile, Maru has a command center already of his own, which is better. He's going to delay it a little bit further, may lose that 1 Reaper, bounces him to the side. Gonna dunk it down and... Well, where does that leave us? Ryung definitely a little behind. But he tried for the command center earlier and Maru punished him. TVT is like a chess boxing match where you're trying to outthink your opponent while receiving brain damage on a regular basis. Ryung is continuing to go for the mass Hellions. Maru also leaning on it. A third command center is already on the way for Maru. A medevac timing? I'm gonna try a Hellion drop, actually. Ryung slipping out. Meanwhile, a Raven on the way, skipping any sort of preemptive other starport tech. In fact, Maru's going for interference matrix to be able to lock down some of those mechanical units, which includes gestures at the entire army. I'm not sure if Mech is on the agenda or we're just gonna see a bio play, but in TVT, the actual commitment to a certain unit composition usually doesn't happen for a long time. It's all about having air superiority and the ability to push forward. And right now, the Hellion drop, auto turret to add some damage. Gonna kill some SCVs. There's actually really no anti-air here to stop the medevac, but 3 SCV kills, not really enough to change the equation right now. Cyclones in production for either side. Yeah, Maru with that third CC is forcing Ryung into aggression. Maru doesn't know that for sure. But Ryung does not have a third command center. He may build it on location now, but he knows he's behind. Even though he killed a few SCVs, he needs to get either a lot of damage done, and Maru with the scan. He either needs a lot of damage done or just a direct attack. If he sits back, he's just behind. The problem is, when your opponent is Terran, oftentimes they have the same units you do. And sometimes they even have more of them, which makes it a little complicated when it comes to finding an angle to attack. That's why so far relying on darting in with a medevac or running by with the Hellions, because Maru darts in, refuses to elaborate further, darts right back out. Another scan actually will spot the additional barracks built by Ryung. How obliging, though they were queued up before the scan. The Hellions are chased down off to the side. Maru has 7 workers. He's got a 7-worker advantage, and now is only after building up his Viking count taking his third, because he knows he just delayed the third base. Maru doesn't have any additional production. He's got 2 starports. That's crazy. Okay, he's going for the full air... Like, this is what I mean. This is a technical play. Literally. It's just tech. He doesn't have mass factory. He doesn't have mass barracks. He's just going for air control. And using that, gonna try to leverage that into a victory outright. And until Ryung has the barracks online to overwhelm this sort of... You need an inordinate amount of Marines to deal with this. And his upgrades are a long way off. He's only halfway done with Stim. Maru is right here, right now. Right here. Right now. Right here. You know the rest. Meanwhile, Marine drop. Casual Marine drop. 4 SCVs dead. The big weakness of this sort of composition for Maru is how much of a glass cannon it is. His units are spread very thinly because he doesn't have many of them. He has barely anything at home to defend, but he might be able to move forward. Scrambles 1 tank. Ryung manages to unsiege the... Well, both of them. If they start the animation before the interference matrix hits, but unfortunately the command center can't fly so fast. He's just gonna take it out. Oh, it's a disaster for Ryung. Maru loses 11 SCVs, but he's still got the 3rd CC, and this push is an existential threat right now. He knocked out the 3rd command center. There's nothing to stop the Liberators. Liberation is at hand, and feet, and any other appendages inside the circle. I don't know if he can actually... I don't know if he can get the siege tanks back there without a medevac, or if they fit at all. But there's nothing to stop the Liberator. Does Ryung have interference matrix? He does, but he's holding on to his energy. He's trying to back off, but he's running out of real estate to retreat to. He's gonna try to scramble as much as he can. He just 1-1 isn't done, but he's not going to be able to get it. Here we go. Scrambles one Liberator. Going for the tanks as well. Gonna let one go. Takes it out. Huge scrambles. Ravens auto turrets on either side. SCV's pulled. Ryung starting to break out. The auto turret's helping out a lot. The interference matrix helping out more. And the Ravens, the crowbar, which pries apart the attack. But now we gotta ask ourselves that question. Have you liked and subscribed? And at what cost? Ryung with a great breakout, which would be much, much greater if he wasn't now down 35 SCVs. It's an economic disaster for Ryung. Maru just has to hold the counterattack. He's got the Vikings. The Ravens actually able to sashay away there for now. But if he loses them, he needs the interference matrices. That's really the only chance. Scan the Vikings. Oh, in the red. Can he get close enough for any of it? He can just bully him off the field. Ryung technically has more army supply, and he has 1-1. He's using an actual defensive bunker. Oh, the Ravens. Did he catch a glimpse? He's gonna try to sneak all the way around. Ryung still has a small chance here, but it's dwindling as time goes on. But here come the Ravens from the back. He gets one interference matrix. The other one gets Edgar Allan pwned. And, well, the Liberator is going mostly unchallenged. The supply depot's doing exactly what he wanted them to do. Oh, there's no answer to the Lib. And it doesn't matter anyways. Maru with yet another decisive victory. Okay, he didn't GG yet. Sorry. Maru with yet another decisive victory against his teammate. Throws out the G's in Korean and English. And Maru is back, baby. Alright, the savior of Terran so many times before. And while Terran might not need saving, it's gonna get it anyways. Maru just crushing Reynor. And with a strategic knockout against his teammate Ryung, who he's actually struggled against in the past, surprisingly. Ryung's also a smart dude, alright? But, well, quite a series. And I hope you enjoyed as much as I did. I hope it made your day just a little bit better. And if you got the means of motivation, be awesome to check out Patreon or YouTube membership in the description as well if you want a link to it. But I hear liking and subscribing and smashing that hype button is still free, I think, at least for now. So good luck, have fun. I'll see you next time. Make sure to check out this incredible video. And thank you for watching. Stay chill.